Welcome to Upgrade. I'm your host, Frank the Tank, and today we're going to bring a pool. Why are we bringing the pool to a tech show? It's because a lot of you guys out there are working from home, have a lot of kids, and you want distractions for the kids. Maybe this will be it. So here we have a long pool, a big one of those rectangle pools. It's about 18 by 9, so you have to have the space. First of all, make sure before you purchase something like this, you have to validate your space first. Also, be cautious to watch your kids every time they're on the pool. Have somebody watching, a supervisor, because a lot of drawings happen during this time when people are busy working and kids are playing. So as a matter of 3 seconds, that's all it takes. So make sure you're aware of that stuff prior to even purchasing something like this. If you're going to purchase this, unsupervised kids, you don't want to do that. So please pay attention to those things. Your loved ones that you love, make sure that they're safe first. All right, so here we have a 18-footer. It is a heavy duty. It takes like 2 or 3 people to bring it in just by itself, so cautious. It's about almost 100 pounds of weight to just bring it in. You have to need a dolly, and to set it up, it's a little easier process than the usual one. So today we're going to go ahead and do a time lapse of how it's set up, and we're going to go over the materials that you get. Right, so just prior to that, let me just start. And this, when you purchase something like this, they have different sizes, of course, for different yards. Now I choose the rectangle one because the circular one, I don't really have the space for one of those. So I have an area just for this, and I'm going to show you guys a picture of it. Now this one comes with a pump, a filter, and a cover for it. So if you guys are worried about that stuff or purchasing that on the side, you want to make sure you look at the details first. A very important thing to also make sure you have the cleaning material too, in order to when you set this up, don't just forget it. You got to make sure you put chlorine, and you have to make sure you have something constantly filtering and clean up your filters and monitoring that system, because if you leave for a couple of days not touching the water, algae might grow and it might damage your pool. So make sure you're checking that out too. If you have any questions or any comments on this, let me know. We'll come back with more details. So I choose this area here, if you guys can see it. I cleaned it up as much as I can. Make sure that this is all material that's brick material, so it's a good thing. If you try to put it on a grass or soft area, you're gonna need some bricks regardless, because you want to make sure you balance it out. In fact, it's on the details, on the instructions. So right now I have this large space here that I'm going to occupy with the pool. I'm going to try to take it out once in a while, and I'm going to get rid of anything imperfections that are coming out, like these pieces of grass, these weeds. I'm going to pull them out right now, so make sure you even it out. I'm going to cover it up with a tarp going all the way to the back. So this is a very good area. This is more than 18 feet, of course, and it's about across is about 11 to 12 feet. So we are in good standing with setting up this thing. So let's go ahead and continue. All right, one of the heaviest boxes is this one, the tubing. This is one of them that came in there. We're going to take piece by piece. This is one piece that just came out right now, along with other tubing that they set up. They give you all these tubes separately in a box, but they were all loose in the box. So just be aware to check your materials prior to setting up. And if you're missing parts or damage, don't need to send it back to the store. Call the number that's associated to the flyer, to the actual instructions, and they give you the material to send it to you immediately, ASAP, so you don't have to send the whole thing back. One thing that I found out is that you don't need any screws or anything to put this together, pretty much. Here's the tubing. If you guys see it, it has a little click, so it could be easy to remove, easy to place back. This is a plus for me in case you want to take it off later after summer or after heat drives away. You can take it off, always come back. Easy to set up. Material and information is all set up too. right, here we go. This is the pool in entirety. Unfortunately, I lost some of the footage that was recording the time lapse, but we were able to put it together. It took about it took about 3 people to set it up, because setting it up was not the hardest part. Bringing it up was the hardest part. Just make sure when you prepare yourself. I'm gonna show you guys a couple of tricks. So we put tarp in the bottom and we sprayed it down with bug spray just in case. So preparations were bug spray. As you can see, it kind of curves a little bit, but this is gonna eventually curve out as the water pressure gets higher, and it's more stress to this bar at the end. So now the hardest part was probably putting the ladder together. The ladder actually fits in perfectly. If you're hitting the bottom, it's because you haven't pulled the poles to the back. Now the ladder is very sturdy. At first people are afraid of it, but once you get the hang of it, in and out comes easy. Going in, it's gonna be the easy part because the water level is gonna be a little higher. So that's where we're looking at right now. Now they give you a couple great options on here. Here it comes with the water pump. If you guys can see it, water pump is tied up in there. They even line it up with A and B. So this is A, water pump. Instructions are very simple to follow up. Water pump extensions. And then they give you B, and they have these grips here. They're not made of metal no more. They're actually made of plastic. I like that. You know, it won't damage the system. This is B, and this is B on the other side. Now let's keep walking forward. If you can see it, I'm gonna show you guys a little demo how it is. Everything's sticking out already, all right? And the more weight is up there, the more that these things are gonna slide out. Now, it's recommended if you don't have a brick floor or it's not level enough, you need to put some bricks on these ends right here. I'll put a picture on it too. So we're walking over here. This part is the interesting part right here. Now, if you guys see it, it has a cap, and the cap is for actually draining. There's another extension they give you, a little tool in there that you tied it up in there, and you tied up your hose, and you could send your water hose out to the main street so they won't flood your area. It'll flood somewhere else. Flood control, that's what it is. If you guys can see the distance on this, it's really, really, really big. I mean, we're talking about 4 feet. You know, it's right here. It's not that bad. It's 4 feet. It won't fill up all the way. We're looking at least above the filter that you guys see up there. So it's gonna be around here, somewhere around there. Now, make sure you have enough space on this side so you can walk in the, assess the situation in case there's some sort of leak or something. You might have to enable this path for yourself. So it's a little crowded for me, but I'm able to pass through there because I'm a big guy. So I'm able to squeeze my way in there, and then I can assess the stuff, make sure it's all working right, it's all stable enough. These things are very simple to put in place. Like I said, it does take 2 or 3 people. One to actually fold it, move this rail, maybe the tarp itself, and then clicking it in. Taking them off, it's even easier. But today we're just gonna review this. Now there is 2 caps in there. If you guys can see it, there's a cap there and there's another cap there. That I'm gonna remove as soon as I turn on the filter. When the filter is on, I will enable the whole thing to actually start working, but it has to be above the line. So it's gonna drain, it's gonna suck in through there, and it's gonna drain out through there after the filter. Clean water will come out of there circulating. Now they do have other options that they sell. They got water heater filters, and those are more expensive of course, but you could control temperature in case you need to, if you live in a cold area. They do sell it for much more. I'll see if I can put some specs on that. Ladder wise, right now I've been filling it almost for an hour. It's gonna take around 8 hours, I would say, or even more, longer, depending on the pressure, on the water pressure. Don't know how much gallons it has, but I will give you the description from the box, see how many gallons. But overall it's about 18 feet to and 19 and 9 across, 18 by 9. So there is a lot of space, plus 4 feet of a coverage. This is a really good pool. I like it so far. I'm impressed with it. It was not very hard to put together. Preparing the area to put it together was probably the hardest part, and putting that ladder was the hardest part. But overall, it's looking really good. So if you guys stuff like this, I know it's not part of the tech stuff, but people are now stay home effect is going in place. And if you have nothing else to do, or you want to keep your kids entertained, this is probably a good factor for those people out there. You can work from the outside, watch your kids. You know, that's one important thing. Now, make sure when you purchase them like this, if you have little ones, make sure they can reach the bottom. If not, you're gonna have to make sure you keep an eye on them, because a lot of people in the United States fall victims to drowning. So I want to let you guys know, if you're gonna purchase something, make sure you are responsible to watching any kind of kids. It only takes 3 seconds for somebody to drown. And please enjoy the pool, enjoy the area, and if you like what you see, make sure you guys subscribe, and God bless you all.